Mhm. Good morning. Mhm. Good morning. Yes, it's 2:48 a.m. East EST time zone down here in Florida. Mhm. Well, let me cut to the chase. No, I have been telling you a lot of stuff had been going on. I don't know how long y'all have been followers or y'all seen some of my this and that videos on Facebook and all that type stuff. I was building up the cases, continuing and talking about the lies, the truth, and the rumors. Okay, a lot of people say stuff they're not precise about, but hey, they'll tell you, but they ain't quite sure. You know. But anyway, let me get to the point in hand. I told you I ran into two nuisances. Okay, I told you what Diddy did. I've been stating the facts and untwining everything because some people submitted some information. Some people knew a little of this, a little bit of that, and didn't know what they was getting themselves into. Okay, so Tori McLean and Kenny Bow, Kenny Boy Graham had been dealing with Diddy. Okay, Future was around, but he didn't quite do what they did. He was doing a lot of breaking the entries too. Don't get me wrong. So, some people grew up with a hard life. You know, but anyway, let's get to the point. I told you I was dating this guy, and Kenny Bo kept bothering him. Santana, one of the Santana brothers. And every time he see them, like, oh, my house, and because see, Santana, his brother, them end up living with me when I had my son, Jamo. Okay. His son, I got my son by him. He's like, who is this dude? Oh, ugly ass, such and such, and this, and that. Oh, I say, oh, that's the dude that makes me coming up there to my store or whatever, and this, I really didn't know nothing about him or know him. Okay. The dude Kenny Bo, Kenny Boy Graham, known as, but that's not even his name. Oh, we went to court about all that stuff. Before the situation happened with my son John Mo daddy, we had already been to federal court. I told you I had to keep mentioning that. Cause Kenny Boy act like he knew so much about me. He lying. He bringing everybody to court, telling who his family. So he was already under investigation by the federal government because he bought Rochelle, known as Roach. He bought Rat, Carl, the man they called Garland, all them saying that was his family. Oh, yes, he did. And they kept asking him where was his family at. Then here come his daughter Melissa. Kept using that name Margarita Henderson and all the police calls to this other two different apartments in the housing projects, and he kept saying all those people was his family, but they weren't. But Deonka, the one he called Deonka Brown, Deonka, she said that Melissa is her daughter. Her mama said that. You know? Okay. But let me get to it. So I told you people already had been going to court about stuff about that man. The nuisance, the havoc. The person don't nobody be happy to see. And all them people that look up to him, they be like they just as goofy as him. Oh my God, they are very stupid. You know? So let me get to it. His actions show all of that. Okay. So let me get to the point. He always kept asking my kid's dad or anybody he see coming out my door. Like he used to just sit around and stalk my door, asking everybody could he get him some fellatio. You know what the fellatio is. Hey, he ain't trying to suck on any man that came to my door. My baby daddy said, I don't like men like that. I'm cool. John Mo daddy, yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I don't do all that. Well, let me do your gal and this, and that. He just steady begging them. You understand what I'm saying? All the time he got that little girl hanging with him, Keisha Hudson. Only reason why we knew Keisha Hudson because of Pig Bird now. Okay? And Jim Jones' old self, the daddy. Because they kept trying to hook up Santana with Keisha Hudson. And he was like, I don't want that little girl. She at elementary school, you know. But she was always with Kenny Bo. Okay. Now at this time, all games going on because Meek Mill around them too. See, Meek Mill I guess he forgot about that stuff in the games he was playing and lying, acting like he from New York. Then he went to New York to say he was from New York, and okay, that's where you came from, but you know where you actually live at? What's your address? He kept on lying like Mary J. Blige. They kept acting like they had family members that was with nobody in Mary J. Blige or Meek Mill family was ever employed. They was never employed by Motown or no recording labels whatsoever. No. See, Barry Gordon them had to step in on that. It was like, oh, I don't know them people. They ain't finna be doing all that type stuff. Y'all better stop all that. We don't know you or y'all family. He was telling me, I ain't finna let them do that to you. Oh, nope. Nope, nope, nope. And all the time when they promoted Barry Gordon, they saying how he was over Tamla and Motown and all this. That was a lie. He knew it was a lie. He was telling reporters and everybody before they do the interview. Mm-hmm. Because he said he was. They said they call themselves trying to cut down on the lies. And they thought Barry Gordon would lie too. They trying to cut it back. But Barry Gordon exposed everybody, even his nephews, the ones that call themselves the boomers. And I always kept using that name, Kevin Gilmore. Yeah, that old uncle. Oh yeah, he busted them all too. You know, and they never quite knew what he did. And I was like, all he was a janitor. Serious as heck. Barry Gordon was just a janitor. Boomer talking all that mess, and he said, "Boy, she ain't lying." So let's get back into this man that was always. Now y'all know the group Pop Smoke. It's two different people. That's not one person. It's Pop and his brother Smoke. I called him Smoke. The other one I called Pop. Cause he always trying to act like he's somebody's dad. He told me, you be acting like you somebody's mama. I am somebody's mama. I got a whole lot of people call me mama. They my babies. Came out of my body. That's how we used to be talking to each other. So when Gina Bobo and them all them was around, I had already knew him. In your face, Gina. So anyway, that night we outside and all that stuff. Here come that same dude, Kenny Bo, them beg him to give him some fellatio. Then his brother come up. Who is them up? Man, they talking about them real bad. Why is y'all begging people to suck on them and this, that, man, I don't want. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? All the time, Rollo right there with them too. Told y'all how I met Rollo. I had them seen them around. He was hanging with one of my kids' dad. I hadn't had the baby yet though. And they was all in our business. Rollo too. And wasn't nobody talking to them. I'm having conversation going off on my kid's dad and his brother, all of them, whatever, you know. Because I told them don't go in those projects. I just had a bad feeling about those projects. He's all girl, you probably because you be watching it off the TV now. I'll say something ain't right. And I was right. And look what problems came. The point is, wasn't nobody trying to get to know them or hang with them. Nelly and them witnesses to that too. Rallo and Kenny Bo running around just harassing people, claiming everybody as their girlfriends and all this stuff. hmm Look how they killed my baby daddy. I killed two of my kids' daddies. They killed Demetrius Fenori Sr. in the 70s before I even gave birth to my baby. I was like 7, 8 months pregnant. I was like 8 months about to have my baby. Never got to see his first and only child and a boy. Told y'all I got married to Three Stacks. Not Andre 3000, that's his brother, one of his twin brothers. My husband didn't have a twin. He had some twin brothers. Don't nobody know them apart. You know. Me and him had already had a daughter. And when we went on our honeymoon, he ended up getting me pregnant again. And I had another daughter, but he didn't even get a chance to see her. He wasn't bisexual. He wasn't gay either. And they raped him and shot him in his head a couple of times, broke his neck. That was Oliver Walker, gay self. And Kenny Bo, Oliver P. Walker. And Kenner Boy Graham, Kenny Bo. But like asking him, he messed up going on base, doing what he did and all that Nas them, all that stuff and everybody else. Diddy them right there, toying them, watching the kids, they kids looking. Shock Rock steady yelling. The stuff they was lying on my husband about, Shock Rock steady telling them that was his Uncle Andy be doing all that stuff. That man ain't did that. That's Andy be doing that. Andre Thomas, his nephew always sold on him in his face. He was right there too. Rape, shot up, all this stuff. There is no Pop and Smoke. Pop Smoke ain't dead. Like I just told y'all, there's two people. When they started asking me what was going on, I had sent that music they had that I had been gave them that music. And they finally was like, then the other one was like, I'm gonna get out here and do this. They doing little shows at clubs and then start hitting arenas and stuff with everybody else in Coachella and stuff. They was like, what's going on? Why you back beating up everybody again? I say it's just like that. I don't know what's wrong with them people. And it was Candy Bow again. See, on my property, the way it was made, of course, it was other units connected to it. I was at 104 North 12th Street. Big Mac now, this guy they called, the reason why they call him Big Mac, because he used to work at my McDonald's in the 80s. Okay? He was like 14 years old, and he worked third shift, clean up or whatever. And then when he get ready to leave, he be like, maybe like him, had him make him like 2 or 3 Big Macs, then his mama will pick him up. Or if his mama wasn't getting off work on time, he'll just walk on over to my house and sit there till his mama come. That's how long I've been knowing the little boy. Turned grown man they call Big Mac. That's why they call him Big Mac. So all of them over there, I'm talking about everybody going up. Like, why is all of them coming over there talking to you? Mm-hmm. I say, you up to no good, but he was up to no good. But the whole time, when Big Mac will leave, it'd be Kenny Bo and them up in there and all that stuff. And then see, he tried to set me and Vince Jackson. Me and Vince Jackson ain't never got along. Trans boyfriend. Vince Jackson, he's the same ones that got caught when those two white men got killed, and Donald Trump, CC, them, Charles Carr, them, all of them was at that house. I showed y'all that video. And they tried to put me in something. Everything already been straightened out with that bottom line. Okay. Donald Trump's son was sitting in the car And the police come up. He was just sitting on the ride the whole time. All of them up in that house. Talking about they had my daughter and all this other stuff. That little girl, that wasn't my baby. They was already playing games. Some little girl they called Icy. Supposed to had a brother named Frank, and they hung with Tasha Nicole and them and all that. And then the police went around and the state police, everything, asking all the kids about my daughter. Ice now. You know my daughter's is by my daughters, you know how they look. And they the rappers. Ice. My babies. I got by Drake. And they look just like they grandmama. You know? They don't look nothing like that little girl that was saying she was icy and was with them spray painting inside that house and doing all that too. But they didn't put all the kids in the neighborhood. So they was like, y'all know a little girl named Icy? Or they was like, oh, that's Frank's sister. They live down the street right there. They mama a hooker. All this stuff. Stuff I didn't know. You know how the kids in the neighborhood be knowing. But one thing for sure. Those one now one of my kids. But back to the point. They kept lying, trying to insinuate them when the police had got them. They kept trying to say that it was me. You're not wonderful, me. You know. hmm And so one night, like I said, we'll fast forward into the 2000s. But the thing is, Vince knew the whole time that Kenny Bo them was breaking in my unit, stealing stuff, J-Roll them, all this stuff, doing stuff. Tomorrow, Nicky Riley told me to steal y'all birth certificates and stuff, and Kenny Bo said he gonna go up there and try to find this all the time. They yapping, they acting like I'm saying it's okay or something. That's why I whooped y'all tail so many times. I'm telling y'all getting all fish shots from me. I don't be playing. I don't be playing. You know? And you thinking because you telling who told you to do this stuff, like it's okay. No, you was in on it. It showed towards the end. I'm going to McDonald's one night. Vince come, I'm looking out the window. Vince walked down there where Tran lived at. All this is on my property, my apartment complex. I'm looking at Vince. As he walking up, he get to the corner right there under the light pole at 101 North 12. That's the closest unit to that light pole for the street. And that light pole brick, not wood. That light pole been there ever since I put it there. You know. So anyway, he stopped. Like he looking at somebody. You know how you can tell the person? Because he paused. He knew something. But it didn't go like he thought. So we getting in the car. Kenny Bolt come out that apartment, 102 North 12th Street with Big Mac and grab my baby, Jashira. Vince getting in the back seat. This tall dude, I don't know who that tall dude was. He was light skinned, black, dark skinned, or what? The dude pulled out a gun on me. Vince trying to open the back door so he can get out with KK. The child safety lock on. Oh my God. And the dude told, bitch, I'm going to do this and this. Oh, no, you ain't. I snatched the gun from him. He had it on me. And I shot him in the stomach. He get out the car. I hurry up and get out the car too. I'm advancing my baby KK. Now I'm out the back. And then I'm like, you better let my baby out of here. Because I told Kenny, oh man, it went down that night. And who I shot close range. I'm talking about, it was his gun. And I shot him right there in the stomach area. Now, I'm not talking about what the intestine straight. I had the gun right pressed on him. You know? And everybody just named. I wonder who that was that did. How y'all even know? See what I'm saying? Vince went in the house of Trian going, I say, it was y'all. I say, Vince, why would you, when Kenny Bo came over there and said that to you, you told him to ask Trian. You know, me and Trian don't kick it like that or none. Every time I get her the benefit of the doubt, and I was just used to be talking to her, seeing where her head was at. Cause it still was she still was on the investigation for that stuff that happened in the 80s. She was telling people she was LaShonda from then she'll say she was me and she was just doing a whole bunch of stuff. Then she'll come into it like she want to play this brain block, and then she got in a mess when my son Denarius LaShawn Williams got kidnapped. Tim Wright telling her to call the police department saying she me. Oh my God! He said I was mayor and all these other things. I'm a doctor, world renowned Doctor Queen. I'm talking about, man. I have specific titles that I have never lost. I gained seniority over a lot of things, and it was able to keep those positions because as they say, clap for me, job well done. But these are the suspects. My uncle Al Green, when he first found out where I was at in East St. Louis, and he had this little girl, my little cousin. He in there cooking. We sitting in there talking. He's singing and everything. He said, "Girl, you still can sing?" And I said, "Yeah, and this and that. Cause sometimes I be jamming." So Lynn came in. We had my patio door open. He had a screen in there. Lynn just walked. You better give people back their kids. And who the hell is that? That's what my uncle. What the hell you want? Grab my little cousin. I kicked the hell out Lynn. She fell. Got my little cousin back. My uncle Al Green saying all type shit. So when he came back in town to say he was gonna do them shows at my clubs and stuff, he looking at everybody. He ain't driving around now. He walking around. Now his little stuff, himself, was short like me. He was a little taller than me. I'm 5'7.5" to be exact. At that time, I was like 5'5", almost 5'6", trying to get myself built up or whatever. But the council was turning me up. Stunts your growth too. So, leukemia CML, especially, I had to have food and vitamins and stuff. So my Uncle Al Green, he walking around with kicking, but he got some gals with him and, all this type stuff. Yeah, he went over there to cousin her inside talking to him, and he just everywhere he see Denzel, everybody. Yeah, that's who killed our nephew, man, and did it. Then he ran into Rihanna, mom and daddy. Oh, who was y'all? And he told him that's when Rihanna daddy was like, "Oh, you Al, man? You Al Green?" He said, "Yeah, that was my nephew y'all killed. What y'all doing messing with my niece?" He was like, "This my niece." I said, "Yeah, I'm Shonda. What did you talking about?" They went off on Rihanna now, mom and daddy. He told me some shit, drink. And my Uncle Al was like, ain't none of my nephew, Paul. Oh, he said a whole bunch of stuff. The same man that was going off on B, telling Brian Mary to say he was my brother. And he said that my Uncle Al met B. He said, "Young man, I'm glad you did right, because you ain't no kin of us." And he was like, he said, "Shonda tell you?" I said, "Yeah, I told him I ain't got no brother or nothing. I don't know where they getting these names from." And I was like, "We not." He said, "Just hold up." Because I told y'all some other people got killed too. Then a little later on down the line, Diana Ross, everybody, people they end up dying. Ace dead, all of them, they just dying off slowly. But I'm pissed because I wanted them incarcerated for the rest of their life. I never sent out no hit on nobody or anything. If I said hit somebody, I'm fighting them. I'm breaking some jawbones, some cheekbones like I did with Michael Jackson. You know. He did something too. Thought I was finna die and all this, telling my kids, I was just gonna have to live with them. I wasn't dead or nothing like that. As soon as I started getting better, yeah, I showed y'all that picture too. I broke his cheekbone. That's why he had to have that plastic surgery. That was the first ripple of it, and he kept on going with it. Then they kidnapped my daughter Maya. Yeah. They kidnapped my daughter Maya Williams. She wasn't even a girl. Then I told you LL Cool J for real had told Mike Tyson to fight me. Mike Tyson did try to fight me. He tried. He hit me one time. We was over on my other side of my property on Division Avenue, over there where Toy and Diddy and them was at. These people really thought, and there was a couple of people that know me. My cousin them out there, my people out there, they men. Oh, they said we ain't worried about nothing. Oh, they don't know you. I said, Mike Tyson talking all that trash, looking at my 135-pound self. Yeah, he hit me. I stumbled and I knocked his ass out. One blow. I'm the one that beat up Mike Tyson. Yeah. I knocked him. I only had to hit him one time. He was straight out. That's when he had that promoter, Don King. Oh, he said, I wish I would have had it on camera. I would have just said you was with me. He kept trying to wake him up. He was out on the ground for about an hour before he completely came to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I used to beat up Mayweather too. Yeah, Ali daughter, all I used to beat up everybody. I don't know why everybody always tried to fight me, but I just told you the reasons why on that end with Mike Tyson. So you know he fight women. He do anything for a man. You know what him and LL Cool J had going on. He ain't quite right. Why you mad at me? Cause LL at Cool J don't run to you and they don't even know how to fight. He can overpower them. I'll be honest, them. Cause I used to beat up. I beat up LL Cool J, Mike Tyson. I mean, and Michael Jackson ended up fighting him and beating up LL. I'm talking about everybody used to be around there fighting. And how I met Mayweather because of his daddy. His dad had him fight, and I whooped Mayweather butt. But see, Mayweather got another brother while they playing games too. Hmm. Yeah, Mayweather. That's why Mayweather. He ain't mad at me because I had them beat him up. He mad because I knew the truth. The Mayweather that be fighting now, I didn't meet him until years later after the other brother. The other brother used to be fighting Nelly and them, and all of them used to be at the St. Louis Center, the mall that I created, fighting and all that stuff. Me being owner of the mall and all that, I'm breaking up fights and it's done. Mayweather full of crap. Jeff Bezos having Mayweather around him, all that type stuff they do. Mayweather trying to find people to fight me. I say, you just really thought you could find somebody that could beat me up? What you mad at me for? Because all these cases is about home invasion, rape, child molestation. It ain't got nothing to do. I'm like, well, did you turn a child gay or something, Mayweather? What did you do? Hmm? You mad? Why you mad at me? And you already knew these people too. You knew Chantel was a man or her a boy the whole time. Ever since you was in high school when I met you. You said, oh, is she pretty and this, and then here go me and Bowlegs us. That's a dude. And then it was like, he know her from school too. He know that's a dude. But why you mad at me? When Nelly and everybody else be telling the truth what they be doing, and some of them sexy gals they be having with them, they men, and been like that since they was little. They always came to school looking like little girls because everybody listening to my life story, not realizing that I was just born with both sexual parts. Y'all didn't have no both sexual parts, male and female parts. They up here talking to me Oh, you be doing, no, no, I ain't having no anal. I actually got a vagina. What is you talking about? And I show him. And Chantel cried his butt off. He cried. Say my dad, he's all behind his dad and made him start doing girl stuff. I ain't gonna go into more of his medical stuff his daddy did to him. But his daddy didn't know me. And he didn't know I was real. I am a medical phenomenon.